Good morning, MMTs. It's Sunday and it's a very fine day. The date, 9/18/2011. And what do we have here? NASDAQ 100 weekly and how the NASDAQ 100 put a bottom in. But what was correlated to it is that when this was happening, you can see the moves here. Let's take a look over here, what we call the TQQQ bull here. That's the bull weekly. Now let me slide it over. And when the bull was putting the bottom in, the 3 weeks right here, you can clearly see how these bottoms were put in both markets. So when the NASDAQ 100 was putting its bottom in, and we've had out of the last 4 weeks, see the week, we went straight up, came straight down. Same thing here, straight up, we came straight down. But look, this is ascending value. And last week's triple witch, you can see that NASDAQ 100 closing on the high of the diamond. You can see this great bull, TQQQ. It was a great short. But then it became a great long. And when that was happening, there's a stock called Apple Computer that is very, very tied to those instruments that I'm showing, because they are. And you can see here the similarities with Apple Computer, and that's this one over here. And you can see this 3-week bottom process right here. You can see the 3-week bottom process on the bull, because the TQQ is very, very they're tied together. So is this NASDAQ 100, and so is this bull and this Apple. Look at the weekly breakout. See, when Apple went through that weekly breakout to the top, you also did in the TQQ. 5 days. All triple witch, by the way. Every one of these. Here, NASDAQ 100 right here. That's this chart. This one here is the bull. Notice they're closing on the diamond high, closing on the diamond high, and closing on the diamond high. And we start trading tomorrow, Monday morning. And we're going to continue to see that if this breakout happens here on Apple Computer, what will end up happening at that point is we could break out up to the 405 handle, because these are weekly charts. And we would look at where this breakout on Apple would happen, because if that's the case, then the bull's going to come up as well. And this NASDAQ 100 over here, it's 100 stocks, but Apple is very, very correlated with the price in this NASDAQ 100. When Apple breaks out, bam, it breaks out. When Apple breaks out, this breaks out. So you have what we call an MMT trifecta market maker strategy. An SMF MMT trifecta market maker strategy. Now granted, the weekly moving averages are rising here, but they're down here still. They're going the wrong direction still, but they're going to come up and test it. Apple is very strong. We will take a look at what we talked about off the video, is those 3 delta ups using your weekly charts, and what those breakouts, when you break out here and close on the high, and you're going to start Monday morning out. The key factor is on all of these here is how they're correlated together, all of these high closings and these diamonds and whatnot. And I can guarantee you, yeah, Google's included in these over here as well, but we're just using Apple because Apple is a very good gauge, better than Google, because Apple is stronger than Google as far as its trend goes. And its bottoming processes here was a nice sell down here to 360, and it kept the 3 weekly low wouldn't take out, these 3 weekly lows wouldn't take out, and these 3 weekly lows wouldn't take out, nor would they. And yeah, there was great volatility, great short week. Boy, a lot of money made. But look at the long week. The long week is much greater than this last reversal. And this is a counter bar over here on the NASDAQ 100 to that sell down bar. They're counter bars. They're correlated. So the balancing and the weighting is very strong on all of them. That means that in their volatility, when they pull back and they start testing the half bar here, and if Apple was to pull back and test the half bar here, and or we tested the half bar over here, that's how they will bounce off those price support levels in all of these. And what the upper resistance levels, but the breakout here will have a weighting here in the bull. And it will also have a good weighting in the NASDAQ 100. Weekly, these are still just coming off their bottoms. They got to get through the half bar here. This one here, this diamond right here is right up here on the NASDAQ comp. It's not quite there. It's a little bit lower diamond, but it closed on the high in the market maker application. And until we are above that diamond here, meaning that another weekly diamond has to get above here, we'll be coming back up here should that be the case. Just remember, October earnings season's coming in. I'm not going to keep running on. The lesson learned is, how do I apply trading Apple long? How do I apply the TQQQ bull long and the NASDAQ 100? And when they're all doing their thing in that weekly triple witch options expiration week that has just now passed by, is what is this market going to be really made of at the upper end of that resistance level that we could break out to up here? We could break up to the resistance levels here, and we could break right up in here. And when we do, which we will, is the October 2011 earnings season is around the corner. So, once again, it's all about how do I apply the back half of all of this. Is I would go look at the bear, and I would look at the put side of the NASDAQ 100 and the call side. I would look at the ratio here on the bull, and most importantly on this one here is what's going to happen when we break through that price level, and what those upper three delta movements can potentially move this thing up to 416. Okay, we know that when we look at the Apple prices, that a 405.97 will be a great area of interest, and so will 411.44. And then, of course, you'll have markets in between them, but those are going to be the major catalyst levels, right along with 416.91 at 3 MMT market maker delta expansion. When you break through a major top, is how many people are going to chase after that move. There was over $1 billion of monies that went into Apple on Friday, and we did a live video with that yesterday. Because if this thing wants to break up and test those key levels, on the other hand, the support level, one delta down, is 395.03, 389.56, and 384.09. That's to the opposite side. In case it fails, wants to go down, it would test those levels. 3 deltas down and 3 deltas up. All right, I will conclude the video on Apple. As far as round one, we're going to get into the options on Apple, and we're going to get into various other things today.